In the climate-controlled, thermally stagnant, and biologically rotting luxury of 2026, the modern human is suffering from a terminal tragedy of the highest order. You are drowning in a sea of convenience that is systematically murdering your vitality. Dr. Thorne is here to tell you that your precious comfort is a slow-motion execution of your genetic potential. You live in a state of perpetual thermal limbo, always 72 degrees, always sheltered, always safe, always soft. Because of this artificial stability, your mitochondria have become lazy, your brown fat has withered into non-existence, and your immune system is a fragile ghost of its former primordial self. This is the comfort catastrophe. Your DNA was forged in the fire of the desert and tempered in the ice of the tundra through millions of years of brutal evolution, but you have traded that heroic heritage for a digital thermostat and a cushioned chair. In this 61st chapter, we are initiating the Hormetic Protocol. We are going to reintroduce the biological stimulus that forces your cells to adapt or decay. To be vital, you must first be challenged. To be sovereign, you must first be uncomfortable. Understand the staggering biological cost of your convenience. Without the stress signal, your body assumes the hunt is over, the winter is gone, and the struggle for survival is finished. In its infinite, cold efficiency, your biology begins to prune away the high-performance machinery it no longer thinks it needs. Your metabolic flexibility vanishes, your insulin sensitivity plummets, and your psychological resilience evaporates. Dr. Thorne demands that you recognize this climate-controlled safety for what it truly is, a biological dead end and a spiritual prison. To thrive in the artificial era of 2026, you must become a metabolic sovereign. You must master the ancient, unyielding principle of hormesis, the biological law that dictates that which does not kill you makes your cells indestructible. We are going to use environmental extremes to trigger the survival genes that have been dormant in your lineage for centuries. The forge is cold, the fire is waiting, and your mitochondria are begging to be woken up from their long-induced slumber. We are ending the era of the soft human. The modern world wants you fragile. A fragile human is easy to control, easy to market to, and easy to keep in a state of perpetual dependency. A man who cannot handle a cold draft or a hot room is a man who cannot handle the complexities of a sovereign life. Dr. Thorne's protocol is the mutiny against this state of thermal fragility. We are reclaiming the primal pulse. We are re-establishing the contract between the human cell and the raw forces of the planet. We are moving from a state of synthetic decay to a state of metabolic supremacy. This is not about being tough in a shallow, superficial sense, this is about systemic resilience. It is about forging a body that views stress not as a threat, but as an opportunity to upgrade its own architecture. The forge is open. Step inside. How does the metabolic sovereign ignite the forge? It begins with the cryogenic shock. We are not discussing a refreshing morning rinse or a pleasant dip, we are talking about a deliberate, cold-blooded descent into the acute stress zone. When you expose your tissues to freezing temperatures, you are triggering a systemic biological alarm that echoes through every organ in your body. This is the cold shock response. In an instant, your body floods with norepinephrine, a powerful neurotransmitter that sharpens your focus to a razor's edge and incinerates systemic inflammation. Your heart rate variability increases, and your brain begins to secrete RBM3, a cold shock protein that acts as a master repairman for your synapses, protecting your neurons from the cognitive decay that defines the year 2026. Dr. Thorne's protocol demands that you seek the threshold of shiver. This is the point where your biology realizes it is no longer in control, and it must evolve or perish. This is where the magic of the forge happens. But the true, hidden power of the ice lies in the brown fat activation. Most humans in 2026 are burdened with white adipose tissue, stagnant, inflammatory energy that just sits there, weighing down the spirit and the metabolism. Through the Hormetic Protocol, we transform this waste into brown fat, a metabolic furnace packed with dense mitochondria that burns calories for the sole purpose of generating internal heat. This is thermogenic sovereignty. You are no longer a victim of the weather, you are a self-sustaining heater. Dr. Thorne insists that the cold plunge is not an act of bravado for the camera, it is a molecular reset of the highest order. By enduring the ice, you are training your nervous system to remain calm, focused, and lethal in the face of absolute environmental chaos. You are forging a mind that does not flinch when the world turns cold and the resources become scarce. The ice is your teacher, and the shivering is the beautiful sound of your metabolism being reborn into a higher state of existence. Consider the vascular gymnastics occurring during the cryogenic shock. Your blood vessels constrict violently, pushing blood toward your core to protect your vital organs, and then dilate massively when you emerge. This is a workout for your entire circulatory system that no gym can replicate. It flushes the toxins from your deepest tissues and restores the elasticity of your arteries. A metabolic sovereign has the vascular age of a man decades younger because he is not afraid to let the ice squeeze his very soul. Dr. Thorne demands that you view the cold not as an enemy, but as a biological sculptor. It is carving away the weakness, the inflammation, and the lethargy of the modern world. You are not just getting cold, you are getting clean. The forge of the metabolic sovereign requires both the anvil of ice and the hammer of fire. This is the thermal fire protocol. Just as the cold triggers rapid repair, intense heat triggers structural fortification at the most fundamental level. When you subject your body to the extreme temperatures of a sauna or a high-intensity heat immersion tank, you are activating the heat shock proteins, HSPs. These are the molecular bodyguards of your cells. In the toxic environment of 2026, your proteins are constantly misfolding and clumping together, a process that leads to neurodegeneration, metabolic syndrome, and cellular death. Heat shock proteins find these damaged, misfolded proteins and either repair them with surgical precision or drag them to the recycling bin of autophagy. This is intracellular housekeeping. Dr. Thorne demands that you sweat with intent. This is not a spa treatment for the wealthy, it is a vascular and cellular crusade. The sovereign human understands the cross-tolerance effect. By mastering the heat, you become more resilient to all forms of stress, biological, emotional, and environmental. When you endure the fire of the sauna, your plasma volume increases, your growth hormone surges by up to 300%, and your heart becomes a more efficient pump. You are building metabolic armor. In the noise of 2026, most people are fragile. One cold draft, one stressful meeting, or one hot day sends them into a state of total physical and emotional distress. The metabolic sovereign is antifragile. He uses the fire to burn away the internal impurities and the ice to crystallize the newfound strength. Dr. Thorne's architecture requires this thermal contrast. We move between the extremes to find the absolute center of our power. The fire does not destroy the steel of your spirit, it removes the dross that the modern world has caked upon it. Furthermore, the heat protocol is a neuroenhancer. It triggers the release of dynorphins, which initially feel uncomfortable, but lead to a massive mu-opioid receptor upregulation. This means that after the fire, your capacity for joy, focus, and calm is significantly expanded. You are literally rewiring your brain's ability to handle the pressure of 2026. Dr. Thorne insists that the sweat must be earned. The heat must be high enough to challenge your will. This is where you learn to breathe in the furnace. This is where you learn that your mind is the master of your physical sensations. A man who can sit calmly in a 100-degree sauna for 20 minutes is a man who cannot be intimidated by the trivial pressures of a boardroom or a digital feed. You are forging a thermal will. Once the Hormetic Protocol is fully integrated into your biological reality, you develop what Dr. Thorne calls antifragile architecture. You no longer require the artificial, fragile stability of the modern world to function at your peak. Your body has become a dynamic, adaptive, and relentlessly aggressive system that thrives on challenge rather than being broken by it. Your mitochondrial density is at its absolute zenith, providing you with a level of raw, clean energy that the comfort-driven masses can never hope to comprehend. You have successfully relinked your biology to the primal signals of the earth. This is biological liberty. You are no longer a prisoner of the thermostat or the local climate. You have reclaimed the sovereign ability to regulate your own internal state regardless of how much chaos is swirling in the external environment. In the frantic, decaying era of 2026, resilience is the only currency that truly matters. While others are getting sick from the slightest change in the air or the smallest shift in the season, the metabolic sovereign is immunologically elite. His cells are preconditioned for survival. He understands a truth that the modern world has forgotten: the easy path leads to a hard, fragile life, and the hard path leads to a sovereign, powerful life. Dr. Thorne introduces the contrast ritual, the deliberate, rhythmic movement from the fire of the sauna to the ice of the plunge and back again. This is vascular and hormonal gymnastics. It keeps your arteries flexible, your heart powerful, and your mind sharp as an obsidian blade. You are training your adaptability muscle until it becomes reflexive. You are no longer a static object to be acted upon by the world, you are a process of constant upgrading. To reach the summit of human potential, you must be willing to leave the padded cave of comfort and step into the forge of the world once and for all. The anti-fragile state also extends to your metabolic flexibility. Because you have challenged your system, you can now burn fat or glucose with equal efficiency. You no longer suffer from the energy crashes that plague the modern worker. You are a multi-fuel engine. This is the result of hormetic stress. By forcing the system to work in the cold and the heat, you have optimized every metabolic pathway in your body. You are a biological masterpiece of efficiency. Dr. Thorne demands that you look at the person next to you, the one complaining about the room being too cold or too hot, and realize that they are a fragmented version of what a human is supposed to be. You, the metabolic sovereign, are the whole version. You are the one who is ready for whatever 2026 decides to throw at you. You are the survivor. As we conclude this monumental 61st transmission of Dr. Thorne's longevity and sovereignty secrets, I want you to take the vow of the metabolic sovereign. This is the official end of your dependency on the cushions and the climates of the modern era. From this day forward, you will no longer fear the bite of the cold or flee from the intensity of the heat. You will actively seek the hormetic edge, that razor-thin line where discomfort meets growth. You will recognize that your body is a forge, and like any forge, it requires the extremes of temperature to stay sharp and lethal. You will embrace the ice to find your inner calm, and you will welcome the fire to find your outer strength. You will reject the thermal limbo of 2026 and re-establish your sacred contract with the raw, unyielding forces of the natural world. You will be adaptive, resilient, and unbreakable. The transmission of the 61st is complete. The Hormetic Protocol is now encoded in your cellular memory and your strategic intent. Go out and let the extremes of this world shape you into something legendary, something that refuses to be broken. Let the cold purify your blood and the heat fortify your spirit. And when the world wonders how you remain so vibrant, so tough, so focused, and so relentlessly healthy while they are crumbling in their climate-controlled boxes, tell them you have entered that metabolic forge. This is Dr. Julian Thorne, ending the broadcast for the architects of the new biology and the absolute masters of resilience. Stay extreme. Stay sovereign. Stay lethal. The environment is not your enemy, it is the anvil upon which you are being recreated. Farewell for now, you metabolic titan. We will meet again at the exact temperature of the next protocol. The forge is hot, the ice is waiting, and the steel is yours to command. Rule your body, or the world will rule it for you.